What is your name and what is your background and contribution to Sea and Soil?
My name's Greg Reese. I am the head lead farmer here. I'm one of the co-founders of Seed and Soil, which is a surfing and gardening club. And we were doing all these cool things, surfing and gardening, and then had the idea to start a bigger garden, a bigger farm, and create, a small-scale agriculture to help feed the community and create jobs. So that's kind of like my contribution. And my background is I actually was a business major at Cal State San Marcos. Wasn't into agriculture at the time, but started getting into sustainability and water reclamation and environmental issues after college. And then when I started growing my own food, I just noticed the flavor and how my body felt, and it was really great. And just wanted to keep doing that more somehow, and it led me to this.
What is Sea and Soil?
Yeah, Sea and Soil is a nonprofit started around kind of a gardening club for surfers and connecting people, because there's a lot of surfers that are obviously into the natural elements, into water, being out in nature, and their connection with soil and growing food was a pretty easy connection. So we were getting a lot of surfers to come in the garden, and then to understand where your food comes from and how to grow healthy food without chemicals and pesticides. So that was the idea. And then now it's more of we're starting small scale farms in either undeserved areas or empty plots in the middle of a city, and creating food. It's creating a hyper local food system where you have a plot of land that's going and growing food to people directly within a 5-mile radius. So it's super fresh. It's extremely healthy. There's no chemicals or pesticides in here, and the farmers get a little more compensation because you're not having to pay a distributor or a middleman or anything like that. So it's you're keeping the economy right where people live. Sorry, you're keeping all your money. All the economies are growing right in the community, creating jobs around the farm. Eating stuff together, harvesting together, building community, and that's kind of the whole. That's where Sea and Soil is kind of moved into, which is great.
How long has it been since the garden was established? So when was
It's almost a year. So we put soil down about this time last year, and I think it planted seeds in January, February, 2021. So it's now November, almost December 1st. Yeah, so we started another farm out in Valley Center on the San Pasqual Indian Reservation, and it's maybe 4 times bigger than this. And the idea there was to do the same thing. You're starting a farm on an empty plot of land that would just be taking up space, and growing food for the community and involving them. And we created a mentorship program. So we train people how to grow food too, and it's been a really kind of, I don't know the word juxtaposition. It's really been back and forth, because this is modern agriculture, and the way that the indigenous people know agriculture is totally different. So it's humbled me, and it's we brought this really cool, they're teaching me and I'm teaching them, and as we're meeting in the middle in this, I'm really excited for what's going on there. It seems
Awesome.
really cool. What the indigenous people know of this area and it's indigenous land management, how to read the hillsides, how to use every single plant for medicine and for food and for making tools and baskets and boats and anything. It's unbelievable, and the way that knowledge has been lost. So however we can try to help bring that back, or try to incorporate that because we're in this modern agricultural we're in society as there's big ag, there's big tractors, there's big distributors, and it's feeding a lot of people, but we need to have healthier foods. We need to somehow combine the two worlds.
How does spiritual ecology and geography how do you have any beliefs in Sea and Soil that translate into how you garden, or how it all works? I don't know if that question makes sense.
Is there a spirituality in in farming
Yeah,
and gardening?
do you guys, because I know you always talk about the connection back to the land, that type of
Like relationship.
relationship. It's
Yeah.
like the animism-ish.
Sure, there's the relationship meaning, well, first of all, not putting any like poisons on the ground, meaning chemicals of pesticides, like killing bugs, killing weeds. So there's like, you're trying not to kill things. You
Yeah.
don't want to put chemicals on your thing. So that's like a spiritual connection to the land for future generations, because it's just going to degrade over time if you keep doing that.
Mhm.
Same thing with synthetic fertilizers. You don't want to have heavy inputs of synthetic fertilizers, because for the same reason, it's just going to degrade the land over time. And the spiritual part of it, and something we learned from indigenous wisdom, is that we're always doing things for like the future generations. So what we're doing now is going to affect our kids and future generations. The other, oh man, there's so much with like just the observation in plants, like when to harvest things, how to harvest things, when it's ready. That's all like intuition and very spiritual. I mean, you can read it in a book and stuff like that, but you can literally like go up to a plant and be like, are you healthy? What do you need? Are you, can I harvest you? Is there enough of you? If I just take a little bit, it's not gonna, wipe out the whole population. We're spreading seeds to further the life of these plants. And I think there's also the spirituality part is, you have intention in growing food. So like if we're here and putting the intention of like, it's like you're talking to your plants,
Yeah.
where you're like, oh, you're doing so good, you look so great. But if you just have like this connection with your plants, I believe that they have a purpose to feed us, just as we have a purpose, or just like we're trying to grow them, they're trying to grow for us to feed us. So it's, and to keep us alive, and also to keep spreading seeds so that they can keep propagating and populating.
Right.
Anyway, so that's like the spiritual part of it. You have this connection with your plants and the soil, and that's what some of the indigenous wisdom they've taught me, which has been absolutely instrumental.
What did this place look like prior to the garden?
Yeah, it was just an empty, flat, like a lot of weeds, but it just looks like what this soil is over here on this side. Like it just looked like this. Like all of it. It was just everywhere. And then the weeds that are down there, it was just all weeds and sand. It's like sand and dirt and flat. There's no plants really. I mean, there's, like I said, some weeds and stuff, but yeah. So all we did was bring in compost and seeds and water.
What is the social impact on the community?
There's a couple different tiers of it. So for one, I'll see if I can talk about it. Like we donate to the community, we sell produce to the community, and we also invite community, our friends and people that want to sign up for volunteers to help out in the garden. So the impact is people coming here, they get to socialize, communicate, hang out with their friends a little bit, but also get some work, get some exercise, get in the garden, get their hands dirty, which is really good for your overall immune system, I believe. And also for eating things here helps your immune system. So people that are buying the produce are helping us keep this project going and keep the water bills and the rent and all that kind of stuff paid for. So where's I going with that? So
The community, yeah, it's like a circular.
So and then they're benefiting because they're also eating things that are grown right in their area. So their immune systems and their gut biome, or whatever we're going to call it, is going to be incredibly benefit this kind of stuff, and benefits the overall health of whoever eats it in this area.
Yes.
And so then also the donation part, we donate to 110 families, and they're getting the free, fresh, awesome produce for themselves too. So
That's awesome. How far does this impact extend geographically? Oh, that's the 1,000 Tiny Farms thing.
yeah, so we started a program with 1,000 Tiny Farms, and we've started like 3 or 4 farms this size. One's like I said, 4 times bigger than this. One's a little bit smaller, and we're starting another bigger one next year, a couple acres. That should be a big one.
So you just want to keep creating these little.
Yeah, the idea is to create small scale farms in an area, train people in that area to run the farm, so you're creating jobs in that local economy, and then I can step away and then they can just, they can run with it however they want to. And I think that's like, I don't want to be there like all the time. It's like, it's gonna be really, really
There's
tough.
not 1,000 Gregs.
Not 1,000, but you can train more people and then like get, just kind of spider web it out. And to see how much, like, there's a lot of empty plots like this in the city and around, and to see how much produce can come out of a space like this is like, I'm not sure why we haven't done this kind of stuff before.